Welcome to the T-Prep Talk, where we're here for the people and not the system. Welcome to another episode of T-Prep Talk. I'm glad you guys tuned in. For those of you who are watching, today we have a special guest here, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Okay. I'm going to let you introduce yourself because I can't say your name correctly.
My name is Mathew Falavinha. I train Brazilian Jiu Jitsu. I've been training for about 8 years. I'm their Professor Tank, Bruno Tank Mendes, Soul Fighters.
What, Professor Tank Bruno Mendes?
Bruno Tank Mendes.
Is that like your, that's what you call your mentor?
He's my professor, yeah. So he's the one that teaches me, I go to his classes. He teaches me positions and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he's like my pretty much my trainer.
Yeah.
He trains me, gets me ready for competitions and just day-to-day life stuff. So
wow. So in
mentor.
the sport of jiu-jitsu, you have a mentor, so you have like a leader, because able to become a great leader, you must become a great follower first. Yeah. So you're learning from this guy, and you're going to develop your own style while you're learning and going through the experience, and then you become that Bruno Tank Mendes for another person.
Yep. Yeah. It's practically what it is.
I got it right on.
Wow. It's and it's cool because you're always evolving, right? You're always evolving in jiu-jitsu. It never stops. My professor has been a black belt for 14 years. So me training 7 years, he's been a black belt the whole time I've been training.
How long does it take to become a black belt?
So normally it takes 10 years to become a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. I would say back in the day, a purple belt now is equivalent to a black belt in the early 90s, maybe like early 90s, mid 90s, I would say, because how much jiu-jitsu's evolved.
That's what I thought.
It evolved so much. Now like a high level competitor in jiu-jitsu would smoke any black belt from back in the 90s.
You're saying a purple belt would
now in a high level competitor purple belt. Not just any purple belt.
But what makes that?
It's just the evolution of jiu-jitsu. There's so many different positions that back then is different. So they're a lot faster. They're a lot more explosive. I won't say that they're tougher necessarily, because I feel like a lot of the older guys, a lot of older jiu-jitsu, a lot of the older black belts are just brute strength, grind it out, smash and pass. And nowadays, jiu-jitsu is very high flying, fast movements. Just very fast. So I feel like a high level purple belt, especially, there's guys like they're not purple belts anymore, but they were Stephen Batten, Elder Cruz, Jacob Couch. These are all guys that were purple belts competing at the highest level, and now are some of the best brown belts in the world. I feel like if you were to put them, if you put them now against guys back in the 90s, I feel like they would win.
And do these guys train with gameness?
No, they're different athletes from different teams.
They're well known in the world of jiu-jitsu?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So
I'm going to say JJ for right now.
That's cool.
Because I keep messing it up.
Jiu-jitsu, jits, whatever you want to call it. There's so many different names for
jits.
it. Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
That's interesting that you said that the purple belts now would be a black belt, 10 to 20 years ago. Yeah. And you're saying it's because the moves that now that they have, they didn't know about it back in the day is what you're saying.
Well, it just evolved more. It's more, they have different grips, different positions that most guys back then weren't as, I would say, they're more brute strength compared to actually having the flexibility and things like that.
So is it like you said it evolved more? So I'm thinking it's because more people got into the sport.
That too.
And so you got many different minds entering the sport, and then somebody brings something new to the table, and everybody wants
to do the new stuff. Yeah.
So in your school, do you see somebody that's a newcomer, or he's would you say yellow belt? Is that underneath the purple belt?
So a purple belt, so it goes white belt, blue belt, purple belt, brown belt, black belt.
So there's no yellow belt.
The yellow belts are for kids. So the kids belting is different.
Yeah, that's more my level right there.
Hey man, some kids, they've been training since 6. They're like 15, 16. They're literally equivalent to a black belt.
Yeah.
They just because of the way the system is, they're not allowed to get promoted to that belt until the age of at least 18. So when they turn 16, they automatically qualify for their blue belt if they've been training since 5-6 years old, going through all the ranks. From there, they'll be able to get a blue belt. But by the time they get their blue belt, and we have 2 or 3 guys that train with us that have been training since little kids, that like when black belts come and visit, it's just funny to watch them roll with them and like give them a run for their money, man. It's hilarious.
Wow.
But it's just because they don't expect it.
Yeah.
It's just like this scrawny little kid got his blue belt on, and all of a sudden he's doing positions that most black belts are like, whoa, what is this?
Yeah. That company you train with, Gameness, is that just a clothing brand? Is that a gym?
Gameness is actually a brand that I manage. We are a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu apparel brand. So we do gis, rash guards, T-shirts, pretty much any equipment that a gym owner would need to sell at his academy. So I pretty much set everything up for them, get them an account, and then I tried to get them, just try to help them grow their business as much as possible.
Wow, you're very involved.
Yeah. So I
was telling them, I was like, man, that full suit, that karate suit looks awesome. I was like, man, I just want to get one of those and just walk around with it on.
So our main company, Century Martial Arts, actually ended up purchasing us 4 years ago. They actually are a part of Cobra Kai, so they actually have some say in the Cobra Kai show, the TV show that's coming out. So if you look in the background, you'll see all of our products and stuff
Century
like that.
products?
Yeah.
So Century bought Gameness?
Yeah. So
Gameness looks so much cooler. Like the lettering and everything.
We are a jiu-jitsu. So jiu-jitsu is very modern and very, very hip. That's our goal with the brand. We are a little bit behind trend, but it is something that we are working on to catch up to trend. Right now, everyone wants something simple, clean, minimum logo. That's why you see some of these brands have so high success, is because they just put their logo on the chest and that's it, and then they charge you $50 for a $3 T-shirt.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
So but that's business, right? It's capitalism.
I got a Yeezy shirt, man. And I mean,
exactly.
It's so expensive. And then I put it in the wash one time and dry it. I put on too high of heat, whatever. It's still an expensive shirt. Yeah. And it was done after that.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I could have bought a $10 shirt for the same
yourself.
length. Yeah.
But it's an awesome business to be in, man. I love it. I've been doing it for 4 years, and I really don't see myself leaving the business at all. Whether with the company or whether I do my own, I don't see myself. I love being a part of the community. It's such a small community in jiu-jitsu. Everybody knows everybody. I feel like all the black belts in the community, they all have each other's phone numbers, so they communicate amongst each other, so they all know each other's problems.
Yeah.
But it's a very small community. It's a very giving community. Everybody there, they're more than happy to help any beginner, anybody who's coming in. That wants to learn jiu-jitsu to really learn jiu-jitsu. It's very diverse. If you watch any Olympic wrestling, like the Iranians won't fight the Israelis. They won't at all because of the tension between the two
country
countries.
conflict.
Yeah. In jiu-jitsu, there isn't that. In jiu-jitsu, it's very loving. It's very like, hey, we're brothers. Hey, like we're family. And this is our team. We represent our team. So there's no drama between. There's no no one's bringing religion into jiu-jitsu. No one, just because you're rich, you're not better than me, right? Or because you're poor, you're less than me. In jiu-jitsu, when you're on that mat, everyone's equal. Everybody's equal. You can be. We have doctors rolling with drug addicts. You have lawyers rolling with criminals, cops rolling with potheads. It's so, and they all love each other.
Yeah, that last one was me, man. Like I went to Next Generation or First Generation.
In Frisco.
In Frisco.
Yeah.
I went there.
Chris Brennan, I think, good guy.
Yeah, him and his son were there, and I don't know, man. It was before I had the gym.
Yeah.
I think I spoke about this on one of my last podcasts, but I was like at a point where I was like, I don't know what I want to do. I mean, I'm training on the side, but I really like the UFC, and if I'm gonna do the UFC, I'm like 20 years old. I'm I gotta know jiu-jitsu, because if somebody grabs me, I gotta know what to do, right? And it's gonna take a while, whatever. But then I'm listening to Conor McGregor stories. So I'm like, maybe I can be the next Conor McGregor, which I'm pretty sure I was one of the other millions that thought the same thing, going into the first jiu-jitsu class. But yeah, I went there, and they were teaching me the basics, and I was wrestling with some cops, and I found it interesting. Like, but they were at the same level as me because
Yeah.
they were. But he thought it was good to bring cops into the class.
Yeah.
So if they get in a tough situation, they can just use jujitsu
Dude.
to calm the situation instead of any type of weapon or
I
something.
think every single cop needs to train jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I agree.
If you do that type of work, whether you're EMT, fire department, police department, I think you need to train jiu-jitsu. The reason why is you don't know what you're getting yourself into when you're getting out of the unit or you're going into someone's house. Somebody on drugs can be super strong, and you have to control them. Whether it's an emergency or just if the guy's falling out, you need to be able to control somebody.
Yeah.
And most people don't know how to manage weight on top of people. They don't know how to manipulate the body. So it's a struggle. That's why a lot of cops fail at their job. That and jiu-jitsu makes you face reality every day. So every day I go to class and train. I do position, I drill. I do specific training where specific training is pretty much when we put yourself in a situation and you have to find yourself either advancing, submitting, or getting into a better position. And then after that, you roll. So when you roll, it's live. It's me and you. We're going at it. There's you're trying to submit me. I'm trying to submit you. I'm trying to take you down. You're trying to take me down. And then after that, you're like, oh, well, if you can do that, you can control anybody. Because I'm not rolling with a brand new person that's never rolled before. I'm rolling with a purple belt. I'm rolling with a brown belt. I'm rolling with a black belt. People who have been in that situation that are going to make me work for positions.
Yeah.
So when I'm fighting or grappling somebody or like a cop is trying to control somebody, they can, if you know jiu-jitsu, 80% of the people that you see on those streets don't know how to fight.
Yeah.
So if you know a blue belt level of jiu-jitsu, you can hold somebody to the ground. You can control somebody.
I feel like if the criminal and the police officer do jujitsu, and
That'd be a
then
badass
they're
situation.
wrestling, and then afterwards they just shake hands and they just call it a day.
Hey, good job. I like that. But I do believe that there's actually Grand Prairie Police Department, Carrollton Police Department, I forgot what other, Dallas Police Department. They all added jiu-jitsu to their 6-week training or 8-week training. And then in order to, if I'm not mistaken, in order to stay on the unit as a patroller or whatever it is, they have to maintain jiu-jitsu, which I think is great.
Do they have a required belt?
No, they just have to keep training. So whether they want to do no-gi, gi, it's totally up to them.
What's no-gi?
No-gi is without the uniform. So that's more like the MMA style. It's grappling, but it's just without the uniform. So I prefer uniform jiu-jitsu. I think when you're wearing the kimono,
looks cool too.
Yeah, and it's the traditional way of doing jiu-jitsu. And then no-gi is very explosive. It's very fast, and I feel like if you're more athletic than your opponent, you're gonna have a better advantage, especially if you guys are even. I feel like even in skill, usually the person who's a little bit more athletic is going to have the upper hand just because they're going to be more explosive, and they're going to be faster, and their conditioning is going to be better. But it's the closest thing to grappling in real life or being in a real life situation, because not everyone's going to have long sleeve shirts, not everyone's going to have collars to choke. But no-gi is that's the closest thing to like a real life situation.
So it takes 10 years to get a black belt.
Yeah.
What you said. And how old is your mentor?
Tank is, I don't want him to get offended if he's watching, if he's gonna watch later.
Sorry, Tank.
I think he's in his early 40s. I would say. I don't.
Well, that's not old.
No, but still, I just don't. If he's 35, I don't want to tell him he's 40.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think he's in his 40s. If I'm not 40, 42 in that ballpark. But
Yeah.
I mean, he's been training since a little kid. Since his brother is ADCC 66 kilo world champion. ADCC is the Olympics of no-gi pretty much. So it's the best of the best in no-gi. You have to get invited or win a trial in order to compete in this event. You can't just walk in and compete. So you have to be like top dog. And he went out there and killed it. There's a picture of Tank. It's one of my favorite pictures. But his brother is called Tanquinho, Little Tank. And he's just kind of like, after he won, he's just looking up. And then in the background, you see Tank, and he's just like, it's like the greatest picture ever.
They get it framed?
I don't know if he did, but that's a gift that I want to give him one day.
That sounds like a great gift.
That picture's awesome, man. Like it's a moment, it's a memory. And that's what I love about jiu-jitsu. It's always you always create memories. So 5 years from now, 10 years from now, we can always go, oh, remember that time Tanquinho won ADCC, and Tank was in the background. Like that's just a memory that you'll always remember.
Yeah, I got some good camaraderie there.
Yeah.
So, when you first started jiu-jitsu, how old were you?
I started. I was 16, 17 when I started.
16, 17.
So you know, bro, I grew up in New Orleans. New Orleans is a party city, right?
Yeah.
So 17, 18, dude, I was working at a strip club at 18 years old. Like in high school, like I had early release program.
Yeah.
Like I'd get out of work, get out of school early.
And go straight to the strip club.
I would work with my brother until about 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And then from there, from 6 to like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'd work security at a strip club.
Okay.
And I was, dude.
In high school?
Yes, 17, 18
awesome.
years old, bro. So like all my buddies in high school would come to Bourbon Street, like, yo, give me in.
Did you get them in?
Of course, man. Come on, man. You got to. But man, it was wild. So I grew up seeing stuff at like 16. I've seen people shoot up drugs. I've seen people get shot at. New Orleans is very it's a really bad area. The reason why I moved out of there is because I didn't want my kids to grow up in that environment. I love the city. I love the people. The food is phenomenal. Like,
yeah.
It's one thing if you go, food. Sorry, but I started when I was 17. I trained for like 2 years, man. I trained at a Carlos Machado affiliate school under Frank Carisi. I think he's a black belt now. He should be a black belt by now. He's a really nice guy, man. Me and him just didn't see eye to eye, so I had to go to a different location. But I trained with him for like 2 years. Got my blue belt with him in a year. And then stopped training for, 18, 19. I'm trying to chase tail, bro. That's it. Like, I just want, trying to get whatever I can get.
Understandable.
Like, it is young, full of testosterone. Jiu-jitsu wasn't in my mind. At 22, I would say, so I took like a 4 or 5 year break. At 22, I started training again. Started training under Charlie Heyman in NOLA BJJ, which is a very big school in New Orleans.
Okay, so you took a 5-year break from jiu-jitsu.
So from 17 to 22.
17 to 22.
So 2 years. So I was 19 when I stopped.
Yeah.
So from 19 to 22, I didn't train at all.
Okay, and when you were entering back in, were you hesitant? Were you kind of like the confidence wasn't there?
The confidence wasn't there for sure because I was like, man, I forgot everything. Like I'm not gonna. But once I started like moving a little bit, it came back. It was like muscle memory.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Cool. Like I remember this.
It's a real thing. Yeah.
So it was very neat to watch that, and then I trained there for about 2 years. At 24, I met my wife. We had our first, like, she was pregnant, so then we decided I decided to move to Dallas because I was working at a dealership, man. I had no life, working 9 to 9 every day to make money.
Car salesman?
Yeah.
That's tough.
So working 9 to 9, and I was very successful. Like I did very well. I played the system. I knew that if I can get my manager in front of you, you were gonna buy a car.
Wait, were you the stereotypical car salesman guy?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I was total opposite. If you walked in, I showed you a car. I'd give you pricing, and then the moment you said, hey, I'm not interested, I'd be like, all right, cool, no problem, man. Just let me know when you're ready. I never tried to push. The only time I tried to push is if I knew it was the end of the month and I needed the money. Yeah. I was like, all right, if I don't get this, I'm not going to be able to pay my rent. And that's when I would use my manager, like, yo, bro, let's lock this down. Let's do it. And my manager and I are like great friends. Mark West, awesome dude. We're still great friends. Dude sends me stupid stuff all the time. He's a great dude. But so I did that. We got married. And then I was like, hey, I flew out to Dallas for training for Volkswagen. That's where I worked for. And I just fell in love with Dallas, dude. It was just like the city was massive. I was like, man, like I didn't think they had a city like this in the South, like. And man, it just felt everything was clean. Everything was. And again, I was staying in North Dallas. I wasn't in Oak Cliff or South Dallas or anything like that. So for me, my perspective of Dallas when I first moved here was like, oh, this is like the suburbs. Like this is great. So we ended up moving out here, and then when I moved out here, it was when I was like, all right, I don't know nobody. I don't have a gym to work out at. I don't know anybody at all. So I ended up looking around for jiu-jitsu schools, and this is why I say jiu-jitsu small. I hit up a friend of mine, Josh Mancuso, out in Baton Rouge. He owns a massive school in Baton Rouge, a Checkmat affiliate. And I ended up talking to him, and he was a part of this team at this time with my professor. And I went and trained at one gym, didn't like it. The professor is real. He's an awesome dude. He was just not his body type was very small. He was a smaller guy, and I'm 6'1", 240 pounds, and this guy was like 5'5", 130. So like, what he was teaching me was great, but it's not realistic for my body type.
Yeah.
Like, it's not something that you're not going to see me start inverting and going over my head and all the crazy stuff. Like, I want to smash and pass, and I want to make you feel all 240 pounds. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah, dude, that's what the cop did to me, man. All he did was lay on me, and I'm like trying to get him up.
But I want you to feel that. So I hit him up. I was like, hey, bro, really hard time finding a school. Who do you recommend? And he gave me 3 names, and Tank was literally 15 minutes away from my apartment. I hit him up. My first class, I had my blue belt. I was real fat. Like, I'm chubby right now. I was real fat. I was like 270, like belly hanging over my pants. So I go in. I'm like, all right, man. Like, hey, I want to try it out. Pay a 2-week trial. Try it out. After the second week, I started talking to Tank. Tank's Brazilian, so I speak Portuguese with him. I'm fluent in Portuguese. So I was able, started talking to him in Portuguese, learning him a little bit more. And then, like, my last class there, right, I signed up. He comes up to me. He goes, hey, I see you at noon. And I'm like, noon? He's like, yeah, come noon. Come train noon. And at this time, I was doing estimates for Lowe's, so I was able to, like, manipulate my schedule. I was like, all right, yeah, cool. I go to noon, and it's nothing but world champions in there, bro. Like, I walk in, and I'm like, holy shit. Rafael Formiga, João Rocha, Marcus Tatalanchi, all these high-level guys, Tanner Rice. I'm like, holy shit, like, this is legit, bro. Like, so then I made sure that my schedule would allow me to train at 12 o'clock every fucking day. So can I cruise?
Yeah.
So, cool. So I was able to train every day. So I would manipulate my schedule to go there. But the reason why I did it, man, is because of what he told me. He would come up to me right before class ends. Hey, I see you at noon. And I felt like I was obligated to say yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, yeah, I'll be there.
Especially with the accent, dude.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, all right, bro, I'll be there. But you know what? It was the best. My wife wasn't here yet. She was still in New Orleans because our apartment was still being built. But when she finally got here, dude, it was like I was all in. Like, I was committed to jiu-jitsu. Like, I was like, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Wow.
Like, I was like, just being able to train with those guys and learn from them, it really, like, blew my mind. There's for Worlds, that's one of the major tournaments that we have every year. That's when I joined in the middle of that. So, like, all these guys were from, there's guys from Connecticut, California, Florida, like, all Brazil. They were all here to train with us.
At noon?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then we had Flow Grappling, which is a major media. It's just Flow Sports. I don't know if you guys ever heard of them. They came, shot a video, man. It's so funny because till this day I'll go back and watch it and you just see my goofy ass, like, in the background. And I'm like, oh, it's me. I was getting freaking manhandled everywhere.
But you were learning a lot.
Yeah, dude.
And now you're training at UFC gym.
Yeah, so I teach at the UFC Fit. I also teach at my academy that I train at as well.
So you Gameness?
At Soul Fighters in Allen.
Soul Fighters in Allen. And then the UFC Fit, is that in
Allen as well.
It's in Allen?
Yeah.
That's an upcoming gym. I mean, they got new locations everywhere around here.
Yeah, so from my understanding is they're buying all the Club 4s or Club 24s or whatever.
Oh, really?
Supposedly they're going out of business. I don't know how true that is, but
a lot of them are going out of business. So a lot of gyms, yeah.
UFC is just coming. I mean, it's the perfect model. It has everything they need. They're just coming up and picking it up and swapping everything for UFC.
Yeah, and UFC is big right now, so they're doing pretty well.
Yeah, they have 2 locations in the DFW area.
One's in Fort Worth, I believe.
Yeah, North Richland Hills in that area, right? That's right outside of North.
I went down there for some Black Rifle coffee.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Was it good?
Yeah, it was really good.
I had the cans before. I never had, like, actual...
The cans, I almost say that, I mean, I like their brand.
Yeah.
I like what they do, and their coffee is really strong and good. But the cans is like any other energy drink. I mean, you read the back of it, there's like 30 grams of sugar.
Well, I don't even look, dude. I just...
Yeah, I pay attention to all that stuff. So
yeah, you have to. You have to.
Getting the regular beans or the grounds, you're gonna get a really good coffee out of that.
You ever had Dutch Bros?
Dutch Bros, Yeah, man, look at the back of my.
Oh, I was like, I didn't even see it.
Bro.
Dutch Bros is legit.
They're legit and they're funny, dude. I mean, they find out that you're having a bad day, man. They're all there praying for you, and they're
Really?
like, "No, I'm just saying." Like, that's how it feels.
I'm gonna go there next time. Like, I had a really bad day, and see what they do.
No, yeah, you need to, man. They'll be like, "Well, what happened? Is there anything I can do for you?" Or,
Yeah, make it a large and charge me for a medium.
yeah, a free drink will feel pretty good.
Oh, man.
But yeah, Dutch Bros is actually really good. You're from New Orleans. So do you have any kind of Texas pride to you?
Dude, I love Texas.
Uh-huh.
I love Texas, man. I love the fact that I don't have to pay state income tax.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Man, Louisiana, dude. When I moved here, the difference was like $600 a month in taxes. Really? Oh yeah,
that's a big difference.
I'm like, dude. Yeah. I'm like, what the hell? Like, insurance. My car insurance dropped like $400.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So I was paying $560 a month for 2 cars.
Why is that? Like,
because nobody over there has insurance. Like they don't. A lot of people driving no insurance.
Wow.
People hit and run all the time. There's a lot of break-ins. Right now, New Orleans is going through a grand theft auto, pretty much. Like people are getting their car jacked left and right.
Wow.
And I can't imagine with the gas prices and all that. They're probably like draining them out.
Dude, it's my mom's still out there, and she told me gas is like $3.89.
So it's not that bad. So it's cheaper.
Well, there's a lot of refineries out there, so it's easier for them to transport it.
Yeah.
So it's cheaper, right? They don't have to drive that far to transport it.
Yeah.
But I mean, a refinery from Houston to come to Dallas, that's a 4 or 5 hour drive, you know. So you're gonna pay a little bit more on that.
You're paying for the gas they're using to bring you gas and
exactly.
just offer gas.
Dude, I mean, you know, everyone's in there to make profit.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, money.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, man. That's good to hear that you're training at the UFC gym, and now you're running classes and everything. And I was wondering, because I seen you were a purple belt, and did you just get it?
No, I've been a purple for 2 years.
For 2 years, okay. So I seen that on your Instagram. I thought that was pretty cool. And is that the requirement to be a teacher? Is a purple belt?
A purple belt should be able to teach most fundamentals. So like your
Minimum.
basic jiu-jitsu, they should comprehend and be able to teach it. I think some purple belts can teach advanced class? Yes. I do think it has to be a brown belt or black belt. I mean, you're paying top dollar.
Yeah, because
right?
me and him were talking, and what's below the purple belt?
Blue.
And we're like, okay, so if a blue or what's it, white? Blue or white, whatever, gets to get in a position where he's a teacher.
Yeah.
It's like there's no learning from that. Yeah. You're both everybody's white belts.
So for like it depends on the area too. Like the DFW area has so many high level jiu-jitsu that like you can walk in to any academy and you're gonna be okay.
I see them everywhere.
They're everywhere.
They're growing.
They're like donut shops.
That sport is growing.
Like,
yeah, they are donut
they're
shops.
like popping up like donut shops
Yeah.
out here. But yeah, I mean, DFW in general has a huge population of jiu-jitsu. But if you go to like a small city outside of Oklahoma City, you're probably gonna have a blue belt teaching you, and he's going to the closest black belt to learn, and then bringing it back to his town to teach it.
One thing I noticed about jiu-jitsu is that like it's very demanding on the body. I mean, when you're done, you're full of sweat.
Yeah.
But the reason why I don't see a lot of physical progression, like improvements, like aesthetics.
Yeah.
And I believe it's because nutrition, of course.
Yeah.
But do you do any kind of weightlifting?
Yeah. Yeah. I lift 3 days a week.
3 days a week.
Jiu-jitsu Monday through 7 days a week. I do jiu-jitsu.
And your nutrition's looking good?
Yeah, bro.
Okay, so it's just nutrition for him. Okay, that's all it is.
So for me, it's more of I don't overeat.
Yeah.
I try to eat as clean as possible. So, but like, I'm also not gonna go, oh, dude, I'm not gonna drink a Coke. Like, I'm not. Like, I feel like I bust my ass, bro. I work hard. Jiu-jitsu is very demanding, like you said, on your body. So, like, after a competition, win or lose, bro, if I want to go eat me
go get a burger.
Yeah,
go get
I'm
some
getting
wings,
it, bro.
whatever.
Like some
Buffalo
sweets is where it's at. Like cakes, donuts.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, bro. I can eat that all day. But I know that it's not good for me. That's why I try to minimize it as much as possible.
Yeah.
And I also try to cut my kids from eating it too. Like they only eat, like if I go to Dunkin' Donuts in the morning to get me a coffee because I didn't make coffee at the house or whatever, and I get donuts, they're only allowed to eat. Like, I'll only get 6. I'll get a half a dozen. They're only allowed to eat 1 donut, and that's the only sugar they're gonna get for the rest of the day.
That's good.
Because I know it's compounded with
You
sugar.
can eat like 3 and not even notice it.
Exactly.
You just
Oh
ate
my,
like
dude,
almost
my
1,000
wife,
calories.
bro, my wife will eat a whole box of Krispy Kremes.
Yeah, man.
I have to stop her. I'm like, yo, it's disgusting.
They're so palatable.
But she's
They're
just
so
like,
palatable.
yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
cute.
No.
It's not cute.
I love her.
But so you doing jiu-jitsu 5 days a week. So the average person, are they doing jiu-jitsu 5 days a week, or are they doing like 3 to 2?
2 to 3.
2 to 3
is normal.
Okay, then that's perfect. So I recommend anybody who's doing any kind of organized sports and you want to see some type of muscle gain, then I recommend doing a full body split. You can't do a bro split with only 3 days a week because you can't section off biceps, chest, whenever you're only lifting 3 days a week. So if you want to get some muscle out of doing jiu-jitsu, running, Spartan race, CrossFit, whatever you're doing outside of your weightlifting on your own, then I recommend doing a full body split so you can hit every part of your body, give it time to rest. And while it's resting, you're doing an active rest, which is jiu-jitsu. And then after that, you get back at this gym, hit a full body split, and then it's a cycle that you start to progress and you start to see the aesthetics improve. So that's my recommendation for anybody doing any outside organized sports that are wanting to see any type of physical progression.
No, I agree. That's absolutely right. For competition, before I compete, I do strength conditioning.
Yeah.
And that's full body, 3-4 days a week, full body workouts. And
compound lifts?
Or
like dumbbell work?
More
machines?
anesthetics, more like
calisthenics.
More like body weight workouts. More pull-ups, more push-ups, more like abdominal workouts. Yeah. You want to have a strong core. You want to be a lot of hip thrusts. You want to be explosive.
Yeah, hips.
So and obviously lower body, but mostly like just push and pull workouts. Yeah. But nothing. A lot of I would say. It's within a minute you're trying to burn out as much as you can in that minute, and then switching on to the next workout. So it's like a kind of like a hit, I would say, but strength conditioning style.
Strength conditioning, so you're doing a high volume. Yeah. You're doing full body. You're doing calisthenics, and you're adding a couple of weightlifting exercises and a lot of core and a lot of abdominal. Yeah. You don't do any kind of squats?
No, squats too.
Barbell squats?
Yeah. Barbell squats.
Bench press?
Yeah.
Bench press.
But that wouldn't be in the strength and conditioning. That would
for
be
a jiu-jitsu program?
That would be something that I would do on my own. Like for squats, different. Squat would be in the strength and conditioning because you want to be able to, when you're breaking out of somebody's guard or you're passing someone's guard, you want to be able to use your explosiveness. So when you're squatting, that's pretty much what you're doing. But like bench press, it's necessary, but it's also not necessary for jiu-jitsu because I necessarily don't want to push them completely off. I want to be able to like turn and like use my hips to kind of guide me and bump.
You see, I needed a coach like you because when that big 200-something pound guy was laying on me like way outside my weight class, I was just trying to push him off of me.
No.
And
you got to create angles.
So so you're saying create an angle, so maybe maneuver, maybe grab his arm and flip around or something.
I always go for underhooks.
Underhooks. I don't even know what that is.
So like if I can, if like you're on top of me, and if I can have like a leg trapped, or if I can just swim my hand underneath your arm, and like maybe hook to your rib or hook to your hip, from there I'm able to use my shoulder and my knee to kind of kick you up over me to then come out through the back.
And that's the explosiveness you're talking about.
So you want to use that to boom. You want to use that bridge, that explosiveness. Yeah. The air bike, bro. That's my favorite, dude. What's that with the
assault bike?
Whatever it's called, the one that like everyone hates, but I freaking love. Like that's my, bro. That's my that right there. Like whenever I strength conditioning, especially my friend JB, he's out in Austin right now training at B team, but he was my strength conditioning coach for a while. I would wake up like Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 o'clock in the morning. I'd be at his house and we would just do, the iron ball, hammer ball thing that you just like freaking.
He had you doing that?
Yeah, I was doing all that shit. It was great, bro. I freaking loved it. It made me, I felt strong. Yeah. I felt, but then after our workouts, we'd jump on that bike, bro. And it's a minute straight, nonstop.
Okay. I think our last podcast, the one with the kettlebell, I talked about that. Yeah. It's exactly like the kettlebell, but it's a different type of handle, and you can do different things with it. But it's the same. It's like making music with that weight.
When I did that, when I was doing that, I lost about 20 pounds.
Really?
Like off the bat, bro. But I was also dieting. Like I was Yeah. I was eating like in the morning 6 egg whites, protein shake, oatmeal, and I would fast, so I wouldn't eat anything until about 1 o'clock, and then that would be my breakfast: egg whites, protein shake, oatmeal, and then like a fruit or something like blueberries, strawberries, something to just eat.
Some sort of carbohydrate.
Yeah.
So for somebody that maybe can like get some information out of this, what made you? Was it just getting bored from eating that all the time?
Yes.
So yeah, that happens to a lot of people.
Yeah, it's just a.
Especially me.
But yeah, I think you can make your food fun.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to want to do it. You have to take the time to do it, and a lot of people don't have the time.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would pay somebody to meal prep for me, but I also don't want to spend like $200.
Yeah.
So I try to cook at home. I try to go. All right, I know I didn't put a lot of salt in this, and then I make my dinner. Like tonight, I'm gonna make white rice, ground beef, which is not do 94 or 95% lean.
The leaner the better. Yeah.
So I usually do that, and then I take a little bit of red sauce and vegetables, and I make like a mix, and then that's what I eat for dinner. Like that would be my dinner.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I would take that for lunch. So that would be after I ate that, maybe an hour and a half later, I would eat that for lunch, and then I'd go right to jiu-jitsu. And then with my zone. You ever heard of my zone? The little thing that like tests your heart rate and tells you how many calories you're burning and all that stuff.
I've never heard of it. I got the Fitbit.
So it's similar to Fitbit, but it's called
Okay.
my zone. So I used one of those for a training session for jiu-jitsu, and I burned over 3,000 calories, bro.
Wow.
And I didn't even train that hard. Like I did my standard drilling in the beginning. I did suicides because there's a couple guys that were getting ready for competition. And then when Tank was like, hey, you guys do suicides, everyone sat out. And I was like, nah, if they're going to do it, I'm going to do it too.
Mm-hmm.
So I couldn't keep up with them, but I still was like, if they're going to do it, I'm going to suffer with them, bro. Like, those are my teammates. I'm not going to sit back here and watch them.
That's awesome.
So I went there and did it with them. And I was dying, and then I rolled. I did like 3 or 4 rolls, or we do 8-minute rounds.
Yeah.
So it's 8 minutes of full contact rolling, like no stop. You only stop if you get submitted.
What's rolling?
Grappling.
Grappling.
Yeah. So we call it rolling.
It's like jiu-jitsu itself, right?
Yeah,
Full play.
Yes.
Yeah.
So submissions are allowed. You just have to. You got to know the rules. If you're a blue belt going with a white belt, be nice. If you're a purple belt going with a black belt, you're allowed to do whatever the black belt, like any submissions that are allowed in the black belt ranking. So it lets you open up a little bit more when you're rolling, grappling.
Where's Gameness located?
We're in Carrollton.
It's not that far.
We have a shop.
Do y'all have grappling classes there?
No. So that's just a
dang.
shop. I train in Allen, so I drive 45 minutes.
You just hop on the toll right there, right?
I actually take the back way, man. I don't want to pay the tolls.
Oh yeah.
I try to save as much
Save some
money.
I
Yeah.
do that too.
I try to, bro, as much as I can. So I
Yeah.
take 380 all the way to Custer all the way to Stacy to Alma, and then it's like 10 minutes.
So you're like, I'll put up with the traffic.
Yeah.
I can't, dude. I can't.
Yeah,
do it.
no, man, it's crazy, but no, it's but that's the thing. Like I saw my teammates, they're suffering. And I was like, dude, I'm not gonna let them suffer too. Like I'm gonna suffer with them if they're gonna suffer. Like 'cause that shit sucks.
That's great.
It's like suicides suck. I used to do that in basketball. You guys know what suicides are?
Yeah.
You touch the line, run back, keep going, and then you have to go all the way, and then you can't stop until your teammates are done.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like I did that with them, and then right after that we did a couple rounds, and I looked at my app and I was like, damn, dude,
3,000
How
pounds.
long was that? Like
2 hours.
2 hours?
Yeah, 2 hours. 2 hours of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's hard to build some muscle with 2 hours of
Yeah,
straight,
dude.
just using full body
Um,
cardio basically, and then also some fast twitch muscles,
Yeah.
explosiveness, plyometrics with the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's hard to build muscle, so your
Oh,
nutrition
exactly.
you got to have a great nutrition plan
Yeah.
to build muscle.
Nutrition's key for everything.
Yeah,
Weight loss, for muscle gain,
mental.
mental, everything.
everything.
You have to have good nutrition. That's one thing I lack, bro. That's one thing. It's the
Shoot, I fell into a little hole recently.
food coma.
Yeah, man. I was like, cause they opened up a Cane's near my house.
Oh,
They,
yeah.
And then I've been, going to In and Out and stuff. But lately I'm 2 weeks sober.
Yeah.
So
I'm about a week sober.
yeah, 2 weeks sober. Want to make that 3 weeks, and we're getting back into it.
Hey, it's cool, man. To each its own,
Yeah. Well, if I get a Gameness T-shirt and stuff, does that make me like a fake jiu-jitsu person?
Nah, man, you can wear it. It's so right now it's very pampered to jiu-jitsu, but we are going to try to expand the brand itself, more streetwear. I feel like there's competitors out there of ours that's what they pamper to the streetwear, and we look at their social media, man. It's beautiful.
They just go hard. You seen their stuff?
No, I have not, but
It brings like that West Coast Cali type font. Yeah.
So we have a lot of athletes from like San Diego. They're all from Brazil, most of them. But they all right now, majority of our athletes are from I want to say California, San Diego, Los Angeles area. We have Lucas Pinheiro. He's a phenomenal. I think he's a rooster weight, which is like the lightest weight you can be. He's 130 pounds. But dude, he gets on top of you. He feels like he weighs 250,
Whoa.
300 pounds. He's they call him Bad Boy because he's just a savage. Like, he's just a savage. He grew up in, like, the Amazons in Brazil. So, like, he grew up, like, not having nothing.
Wrestling
bro.
tigers.
Not having nothing. And then we have Ebert Santos, which he's a world champion. He's one of the best black belts in the world.
On Gameness?
On the Gameness roster, yeah, as an athlete.
Okay, so before, like, if I wanted to get into jiu-jitsu,
Yeah.
which eventually I want to, once I get some more time to make it like a consistent thing, I have 2 ACL surgeries in these knees.
Yeah. You're good.
Will I be okay?
Yeah.
Because my range of motion isn't the best.
I've never been hurt. I've never gotten severely hurt in jiu-jitsu. I've had minor injuries. I've dislocated my shoulder. I don't know if you would consider that major. I don't consider it major.
I mean, if it's the bone, if it's the tendon.
So we have that. So I've never been hurt severely.
Yeah.
So I think if you just take care of yourself how you do, and you work out every day, you eat pretty healthy, your body
2 weeks over, yeah.
So your body will appreciate, and your body, if as long as you treat your body good, it's gonna treat you good. It's a car, bro. It's a car. You gotta take care of it. But if you just be careful when you're rolling and know that your knees can only take so much,
awesome.
And don't overdo it.
Me and Adrian might join the game squad.
Let's do it. We're
gonna be 2 white belts on her.
Let's go. That'll be fun.
I'll be the yellow one now. Well,
oh man, hey, giving out ranks.
Yeah, man, already a blue.
Didn't even get on the mat yet. Yeah. Shit.
That's funny.
I wish it was that easy.
Yeah. Well, man, it was a pleasure having you on.
Sir, man.
Gave us some good information. And like I said, guys, the likes, the comments, the shares, all it does is provide fuel to the fire for us to produce the heat. Goodbye. You want to close it out? Tell the camera whatever you're doing next.
Hey,
what books you got coming out?
Books? All right. Read books. It's really good to read. It's really good for your mentality.
Yes.
Read. Man, next up, I think I'm going to be doing, I haven't signed up yet, but I think I'm going to do Master Worlds. So this is the first year doing, this is my first year. Well, last year I fought Masters. This is my first year actually being the age for Masters. And that's in Las Vegas in I think September. So I might do that.
All right, cool. What's your Instagram handle?
It's at Falavinha. So it's Falavi. Oh, shit, man, I can't even spell my last name.
Just say it's your best. He's gonna put it on the screen.
It's at Falavinha_BJJ. So I post reels, I post position videos, and then just my day-to-day life. So if you guys are interested to follow, I'd love to have you guys.
Adrian.
See
you guys.